A lot of people love to argue about politics. Through all my years of experience with this, I've come to figure out that it's completely useless, and I'm about to tell you exactly why. So, for the most part, everyone has a political opinion. Even when people say that they're apolitical and don't really get into politics, if you ask them certain buzzword and key phrase questions, they'll still have an answer for you, which could potentially lead to a disagreement. So, people often like to argue amongst themselves. Now, this can be about like the regular Democrat, Republican, traditional politics, or it could be about like some more intricate policy making changes that one side thinks should be implemented and the other side thinks should not be implemented. There's a few things that go into this. So obviously we think that the reason for the argument is to try and prove our point and disprove the other person's point. But there is this thing called cognitive bias. And this is what I want you guys to always remember before starting an argument. And basically what cognitive bias is that a person who has a set belief in their mind will find that belief confirmed in everything they see. No matter if it's for them or against them, they will find a way to twist it so that it fits their own narrative. And they probably don't even know they're doing this. This is like a regular human psychological flaw. And I think it's very, very interesting and important to touch on and understand. Because we would think that if we were to see something that disproved one of our beliefs, we would at least look at it, right? Because we're smart, intelligent, and open-minded people that are willing to change. But that is the very basis of where cognitive bias stems from. We think that we are being unbiased, whereas others around us might have biased tendencies, but it's actually not the case. We're all biased. So there's no point in arguing with people, especially about politics, because they are not going to change their opinion when you argue with them. They're just going to go further down their own rabbit hole, and the same goes for you. I remember I used to have arguments with one of my friends in particular. This one kid, if you're watching this, you know who you are. I would literally sit there for hours on end, and we would argue about, politics, and we would get into these huge confrontational fights when we're literally trying to have a good time and enjoy each other's company, and it was completely counterproductive. No one reached any consensus. Whereas nowadays, if that same person were to try and argue with me about politics, which I doubt he would because he has changed a lot, but I would not react in the same way. Why is that? Because now I know what cognitive bias is. I know that people have tendencies to think one way or another, and I know that I could actually be wrong. Like, there is a chance I'm wrong, and I don't have as strong opinions about politics anymore because I realize that these politicians who we're defending, what have they actually done for us? Absolutely nothing. They don't care about us. They don't care about me. They don't care about you. They don't care about Uncle Joe upstairs. I'm just joking around here, but they genuinely don't care about the individual. Like, you're not going to get a call from them and them being like, thank you for, promoting me and being on my side. That's never going to happen. There's never going to be any show of gratitude from these people who we defend so strongly. And I've come to the conclusion that really the only reason we defend these people is because we are insecure ourselves, right? Why do we need to prove to someone else that we're right and they're wrong? That seems like a malfunctioning ego to me. Like, shouldn't we know that our truth is our truth and we are open to being wrong? Like, the person who is open to being wrong is definitely less egotistical than someone who feels the need to prove their side to others. Now, there is one exception to this rule of not getting involved in political banter, and it is actually debate. So, if you're actually in like a debate setting and you're arguing about like a certain policy, I would say that that's okay. As long as nothing gets too confrontational, or even if it does, just acknowledge at the end of the debate that, you know, it was a good run and no one has any hard feelings towards each other, because fighting over politics causes strong, angry, and resentful feelings towards the other person. Almost unlike anything else I want to say, for some reason we've been so hyper-stimulated to this political agenda that we feel the need to be angry at people who don't agree with us. And, you know, that's absolutely ridiculous. We're all human beings, and you can find common ground with anyone. That's another thing too. We have a lot more in common than we do apart, except we just focus on the few things that we disagree on, magnify them, make them a huge deal, and overall give them so much power over us. And it's not the smart thing to do, and it's also not productive at all. Like, it doesn't do anything that great. The other very frustrating thing, at least to me, about politics is that we can argue till the cows come home, but we actually cannot change one American policy. And that might sound discouraging and contrary to most of the things that we talk about here on this channel, but hear me out. Our vote is just one in millions of votes. And even if we sway a person to vote the other way, which is almost impossibly unlikely and would take an incredible amount of charisma, planning, and evidence, then what will that actually do? Like, the people in power are probably lying to you. They're probably trying to get, they're definitely lying to you. They're trying to get elected by selling you lies. And there's nothing that they will do that they actually have promised to do. We've seen this with pretty much every U.S. president. Like, I'm going to give you an example here. I'm not going to give an example because that would lead to more controversy and more debate. That's not what this video is about. Maybe in another video I'll go over the gripes about the current administration, the last administration, and all that. If you guys are interested in these political type of videos, I can definitely make more of them, because I did a lot of research back in the early COVID days, or the early pandemic days, I guess, and I think I have some knowledge to drop on you guys. But back to what we were saying, there's nothing that we can do to change these politicians' minds. If they have it in their mind that they're going to do something that you don't like, there's nothing you can do about it. So instead of worrying about politics, the bottom line is focus on yourself, because politics can really be a rabbit hole that can suck days out of your life, weeks, months, and years. So unless you're literally trying to go into that field, I would say stop watching the news entirely, put away your phone. It's absolutely pointless, and as dreadful as that might sound, it is the God-honest truth. So with that being said, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon.